And I believe we are now live streaming. I will text Mike LaPerry and just see if he's working from home, see if he can hear us. Can't tell. It says there's one other person on. I'm not sure if it's him or not. We'll make the assumption it's live. I can actually, you know what? But I can log on from my phone and see.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. The students have their last day of class, I think Friday, and then some have exams next week, but it's already starting to wind down. You can see it.
Is there an adult version of winter break? That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I wish we close between Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
Yeah, to give everybody a breather. And this semester's been a little rough. So, are we live?
We are. We're good. We are live streaming. So,
Call our governance committee meeting to order here at 8:03. Thanks everybody for being here. And we have an agenda to go through. I don't think we need an executive session.
Nope.
So we'll move past that to new business. And the first item is reaffirming the committee members. So I'm assuming with the word reaffirming,
hold on. I'll make everyone dizzy here. Might as well do this so they can see the majority of us instead of just me, except because I got turned it that way. I'll figure this out.
You have to do a lot of selfies too.
No, it's pretty clear. I try to stay away from pictures.
So we're talking about reaffirming. We're proposing to keep the membership of the committees the same, officers the same?
We are. We are. And I have not reached out to anyone to see if they're willing to do so, but I thought we could at least, unless there are any other questions, I don't anticipate anyone not wanting to continue to serve in
Are you
those.
okay in your capacities?
Of course.
So maybe that's something you can do between now and the next meeting, because if there's any other changes, we could get that done.
Yep.
So it can get approved. But that sounds good to me. Everybody's willing?
Okay, I will verify that before the next one, for a formal meeting.
And same with the slate of officers. Are you proposing any changes on that?
I am not.
So just to be,
Are there any term limits that come into play or not really?
We
Not
have
this year.
No, okay.
No, I don't have that with me. It was Kim gets reappointed. That would be her last term, this next 2-year term. Ryan has to get reappointed. There's 2 others,
Oh,
Bill
yeah, I had that somewhere.
That was
Bill
something.
Holgate, and, oh yeah, it's right here in my emails.
yeah,
Yeah, it was in your,
there's 4 of us, I think. That
Ryan, Janice, Kim, and Bill.
so once you're reappointed by the legislature, you can serve indefinitely in a
2-year
officer-
terms, but then it's
officer.
3 consecutive 2-year terms is the max, and then you have to come off the board. And just, I think it's how it's worded. You just have to come off the board. It doesn't say for a specific period of time.
Right, you could come off for one day.
Okay.
And we could put you,
Put you back on.
Okay, so everybody's eligible.
Everybody's eligible.
Great.
we did have an issue. We should check, because if they're all around the same, like if their third term are all gonna expire at the same time.
I think it's just Kim.
Okay. 'Cause we
I will
did have
double
that
check that, but
issue
I'm pretty
2
positive
years
it's
ago.
just Kim.
It was I think it was when you came on, Amy. We had,
Well, I think Jim resigned that time, and then
Okay.
Jerry was leaving.
there was like 3 new.
All the same.
Yeah,
3 new board
I think
members,
Jim
which is-
resigned because of moving,
Jean
and
Pierce.
Jim Wilson. And Gene
Gene
was
came on
done,
first.
and Somebody else was, Jerry, who I think was done at the same
Yeah,
time.
we should just be,
I will double check
cognizant
that,
of
but
it,
I'm
so-
pretty sure that it's only Kim. It would be her last term. And then Bill is our
Right.
legislature, so it's, the legislature can change that at any time. We don't
Right.
really have much say in that, so.
well, if we do see that coming up, we should just
Yep, I'll double check.
try to get ahead of that and then have them be able to sit in on a couple meetings so that there's,
It does have the appointment date on your, but it's not the original appointment date, it's just the most recent time.
Most recent, yep.
So well, as long as we look at when everybody started it.
we
come up with a term limit.
we
But
should
you
add
added
that,
it
we
on
should add like,
Start or initial appointment or something to that
Yeah.
effect.
Okay.
because That would be right on here in front of everybody when expiration would be coming up. And so as far as, I'm certainly willing to continue to serve at the chair role if someone, we may open it up at the meeting and see if anybody wants to say I'm not doing a good job and that they'd rather do it. I don't know
Somehow
if
I
I should.
think that that's not going to be an issue, so.
and I'm probably not gonna say it, so.
No, I,
But you know what I mean? Just to
Yeah.
assume that everybody thinks you're doing a good job is probably kind of risky that way. So
I
I don't know how
can,
you want me to go about that.
I think we can just say that governance, moves the slate of officers and then open it for discussion.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to make a change at that time, that's their opportunity to speak, right?
maybe there'd be a coup right in
That sounds
front,
fair.
right in front of you, that'd be something.
That would be,
Yeah.
that'd be fun. To see how- It's kind of awkward, but kind of fun to see how it's playing out.
I'll shake so.
Again, I don't think you gotta worry about it.
No, I don't either.
So we'll move past that, then we'll recommend the same slate of officers. The next item here is the governance committee charter.
Yeah, I don't know if you had
I only have,
look at it all.
I have one question on it, and it's a clarification question. In this paragraph about the composition and selection, it says comprised of 3 independent members. I'm assuming that means 3 non-staff members. But I don't know if we could have Russ just clarify that it doesn't mean that we need 3 outside.
On board. Okay.
Is it non-board or non-staff? I'm assuming non-staff board members.
Yeah, the other question I had too is, some of the boards that I serve on, the chair and the vice chair are ex officio members of every committee, but our board is so small, I don't know how that would work.
I think it is the way it is now because I'm on each of them.
You are on each of them, but if that's the other thing that phrase could mean, independent could mean not chair.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll get the definition behind. And
That's a good point. It'd be good to just have Russ comment on that.
Yeah, I think, and even on our board, I think that they worry that the chair would have too much influence if the chair is voting in every single committee meeting. I don't see
This
it
was
that way.
drawn up as well by, I'll have Russ take a look at it, because this was drawn up by Hodge and Russ, so maybe Harris Beach has.
Oh, it says May 2020, so are you sure Harris Beach didn't do it? It says May 2020 at the bottom.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
I'll check, but I'm pretty sure. Well, either way, then you either have the answer right away, or we'll find out.
Figure it out.
But yeah, that'd be a good to clarify, just to make sure if we have the right people in the group. It'd be a silly thing to get tripped up on.
Mhm.
That was the only thing I noted in here. Is there anything else you guys, any questions or revisions you guys think we should consider?
No,
Is there any, does governance, so just a question on, with respect to the size of the board, is governance responsible for finding new members? or I didn't see that in the responsibilities,
Yeah, if you look on page 2,
right?
the second bullet point at the very bottom says, develop the competencies and personal attributes required of directors to assist those authorized to appoint members to the board in identifying qualified individuals.
So it's saying we want to identify the type of skills and individuals we want, but then it says to assist those authorized to
Who are
appoint members.
those authorized?
Well, the county.
The count, so what the way it's been, the way it's worked for as long as I've been here, and I was doing what was done before, is we fill, although it's not, I don't think it's outlined anywhere specific, come up with a list of potential members. It gets discussed by the board, and then I usually go out, they have me go out and talk to the members, the potential members, to see if, in fact, they were brought forth to serve, would they be interested? Most say yes, not all. Timing or whatever issues get in the way. And so then I come back to the board with here's 4 or 5 that are interested in serving, and then we send those final rounds. Okay, we'll go with these 2, and we send those to the legislature for their discussion and actual appointment.
And we didn't, last time there might have been 7 or 8, I think, in the potentials, and then it was narrowed down pretty quickly. See if there's a little work out there.
Yeah, I just, so again, some of the other boards that I serve on, there's a list of people who are prospective board members who, you're constantly, even if it's not imminent that they might be asked to come on, maybe it's a year or 2 out, so that you always have, a pool, if you will, of fresh talent. But I don't even know what skill set you're really looking for.
That's a good question. I mean, I think a lot of the times most of our policies are purposely drawn up relatively basic to allow flexibility for us. But so the skill sets have generally been, what are our major industries, right?
Yeah.
So from an employment factor, so manufacturing, ag, higher, education, health, right? So we try to get as much as we can someone from those various competencies on the board, keeping in some perspective mind that you can't be on the board if your company is receiving, if you're a major owner, a majority owner of the business, and you're going to be receiving benefits from us, you can't be on the board. So there's some times where we won't, just for the perception issues, we don't even dare go after someone from one of the larger companies because they continue to grow, whatever it may be. But we try to keep someone from the finance sector on it. We try to keep someone from the college on it. The hospital, usually either, it's not, since I've been here, we haven't had any direct employees of the hospital, I don't think, but we generally have someone that's on their board anyways on it.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to prolong this meeting. I'm sorry. This is my first
No, you're
meeting,
fine.
and I just want to make
No,
sure
good
I'm
point, they're good questions.
doing what I'm
Yeah,
supposed to be doing.
Other organizations I'm involved in too kind of have that list, and it gets updated, and there could be a 3 to 5 people next potential board members list. I know it's in your head, and you circulated it last time when we picked 2 of the people, but that'd be a pretty natural place to start for some of the others that were considered.
Okay, so I have no problem developing that. And then going out to them, just even saying, hey, would you be interested?
Yeah, well,
Should an opening come?
what would be great would be to know when everybody's term,
Okay.
what the term limits are, and when you need to bring people on. And also, like if there is a year where there are potentially a large number of people going off, that we stagger that so that we have, you know, kind of the same number of people coming up for renewal on an annual basis, so you don't run into that again. I mean, strictly speaking, it's probably not necessary, but it's nice to have it that way.
Okay. We can do that. So are you also saying, like, in addition to stagger here and there, go to whatever, maybe 5 or 6 additional community members and say, are you willing to serve, or not go that far to actually
Not
reach out to them?
yet, let's
Okay.
talk first here
Mhm.
and, you know, look at composition
Got
of
it,
who
okay.
you got, and then really think about who needs to be approached and when.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, it's just to kind of keep a short list
Yeah, okay.
together. And then people
Okay.
move away or people retire and then
Yep.
they might come off the list, but then so that you're not caught by surprise if you do have an opening. It's already kind of a pre-vetted. It could happen at this governance committee meeting, you know, annually. You could, here's the short list of people. Do you have any subtractions, additions,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. It wouldn't be part of the charter here, but it would be maybe an agenda item at this kind of a meeting.
Okay.
To keep that list, a running list more.
I can do that.
Yeah, you have new people moving in all the time
Mhm,
into the area.
mhm.
I have some potential good ones.
Okay, that all makes sense. I can do that.
Anything else on the charter here? Let's move on to the administrative fees policy.
The only change, and it's a fairly major one, I'd like to at least discuss. Right now, we charge a $250 application fee, basically for everything, whether you're coming to us for a loan or a straight leaseback transaction. Bonds are a little bit different, but we haven't done a bond in, actually, since QCA. The problem we occasionally run into is, so we get that $250 application fee. We send out the application to our law firm. They put all the initial resolutions together that we then present to the board. There's legal time caught up. At the end of the project, at project closing, the company pays for our fee plus our attorney fee. So it's all inclusive in it. If we don't get to that part, then the fees that have been accumulated by the law firm, either our law firm swallows it or comes to us and says, what do we do about this? So what I would propose, and I've looked around to a couple different groups, is right now it's a $250 non-refundable deposit that does not get, or application fee that does not get applied towards the final agency fee, which is 1.25% of the project cost. I'm saying we go up to a pretty hefty application fee of $2,500, but that gets applied. All of it would get applied to their final 1.25% fee. It's non-refundable, but that will cover if we get through initial resolutions, public hearing resolutions, and then something happens and they don't want to do it. We have that money to help handle some of the legal fees that are more than likely going to come to us for.
How often does that happen? Like, how often does it go all the way through to completion versus somebody drops out at some point along the way?
I've had
wouldn't
very few drop out.
Say very, it's not often, but I would guess it happens once or twice a year.
Probably.
And then if in the instance maybe where it's a smaller project and even our fee wouldn't be $2,500, it would be the lesser of the two. So if their total project fee for us, participation fee would be $2,200, and all right, then your application fee is $2,200, and it's, you know, it's-
Is it the percentage of the project plus legal fees, or? So why wouldn't you just add the legal fees to the $250 application fee? Just pass the direct expense on to the,
add to it,
Or
just simply
maybe-
stating any fees incurred.
any legal
Is
fees incurred
immediately
with this
on.
process, even if you don't make it to closing, are your responsibility. The only reason I'm suggesting that is that the 2,500 could dissuade some people from embarking on this if they're not quite sure. And I don't want to disincentivize somebody from starting, but I do want them to pay their part. So I don't know. What do you?
It's kind of like in our bank's commitment letter, your deal's approved, there's gonna be third-party costs incurred here that are your responsibility to pay, and it's just kind of clearly laid out that if the deal fell apart,
Okay.
it'd be the borrower's, or in this case, the applicant's responsibility to pay the bill. So the attorney could send us an invoice and we could collect those.
So I guess that would be the tracking of it up front. So we have a fee set with the law firm ahead of time. Here's what it's going to be for your particular project, and then
I don't think you
No.
collect it up front. I think.
we don't collect it up front. But if
Just any legal fees are your responsibility, and the law firm bills at whatever they bill per hour. I'm sure Russ could come up
Okay.
with the right
All right.
language
Got it. Okay.
for us to make sure that it's clear to the applicant.
Really, you just would need to make sure they understand that part. It'll be in writing in the application, but explain to them that there could be a wide variety, depending on how far it goes, there could be a pretty significant range in legal fee, I imagine.
But I also think that might help too with sometimes you encounter a really difficult applicant who, doesn't realize that they're incurring fees until you
sure.
tell them, you're gonna be responsible. Go ahead, ask as many questions as you like, but, yeah,
Okay, all right.
it's a good point though.
Yeah, the only
We
concern
do
I'd have with doing
encourage-
collecting the whole thing up front, that it would disproportionately impact the smaller projects.
The 25, if we went the 25.
On a percentage, $2,500 of a $3 million project is a tiny percentage, but if it's a $300,000 project, that's.
Yeah, I guess it's just when it's due. It's due up front versus if we close 90 days from the time they turn that application in.
If they're closing, they probably have financing available, or like
That's fair.
the
That's fair.
project's
Okay.
happening.
Right.
Right.
Okay. That's a very good point.
We do incur
Okay.
some upfront costs with the certified return receipt letters that go out to the taxing jurisdictions. I mean, they're close to $9-10 a piece, so.
Yeah.
It's,
We can bill for those though. That's in here. So that can be in addition to.
oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, well those are good points. Those are good points.
We'll have a recent lakefront property application that we have that, they wouldn't, the dredging thing comes up, they'd back out, but they wouldn't want to pay the full fee based on the assumed benefit at the end of the project, and then find something in the middle, unbeknownst to them, that they have to walk away from, and be still out the fee. If we did this, they'd have to pay their $2,500 here a couple weeks ago. And then if they walked away from the project, they would hold that money.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to accomplish in terms of ease of administration and I appreciate all of that. I want to make sure that
We can get to the same part. We can get to the same solution. It would just require, and it's not any additional work really. Just a couple more conversations with our law firm and the applicant stating, all right, here's what their fee is scheduled to be for full project. So each step of the way, assume maybe a third of that cost is going to be incurred. So if you do back out after public hearings, you're probably 2/3 of the way towards whatever that final fee is. Okay, that's fine. We can get we can cover it that way. That was really the only thing I had on that.
We've already made the updates on, there's no other fee changes then on the percentages for projects, that's current, it does say.
And
there's
we left the
quarter.
bonds the same, just because we don't, it's been so long since we've done one. It doesn't, it's still, it's fine. If interest rates go up, the bonds become more, more of a potential for people, so it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, but it's kind of good that we haven't used it because interest rates haven't been, or they've been low enough to where our discount on it hasn't really made sense for anyone, so.
It does have here, you can deviate your fee whenever you want to. Different applications.
With board approval,
With board approval, right.
so, okay, I think we're good there. That was all I had.
Are we needing to approve, or are we recommending, we're just recommending to the full board to ratify or not with any of these changes? Then we,
Correct.
okay, so there's no approval needed here.
No. I could, no, because all we're doing is specifying more. There's not even really a change to the fee policy then. It's more just a discussion, probably on our application, the actual straight leaseback application, that's where the change will come. So I'm aware of it.
Okay.
That was it.
Anything else you want to bring up, David?
No,
All right. Let's adjourn then.
all right.
I heard some
I need a, I think we, I don't know if you need a formal motion or
motion
not.
to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Let me go.